Hello viewers! You're still leveling your raid account, right? In the third part of today's guide, I'm going to dump a lot of basic knowledge that you need to know about the game. This series is dedicated to the economy, farming, how to get champions from the campaign, item trading, and other aspects that will improve your quality of life in the game. Get your brain ready to absorb new information and let's get started! So the fourth day of a normal person starts with me collecting daily gifts and getting one step closer to getting a champion in 7 days, which will make life a lot easier in PvE against some bosses that give nasty debuffs. At this point, I'm more than halfway through the campaign, and most of the chapters are 3-star completed, with the progress bar showing the rewards I've already claimed. I'm also making progress on missions and challenges, but it's slower due to the difficulty of execution and the fact that some missions are tied to the timing of events. For example, farming progress potions in citadels. They appear by the day, but they all work for several days for beginners. During those days, you could do several startup tasks of that type, but then you have to wait for a certain day for the citadel you need to open. And those are just the easy parts. There are missions where you have to upgrade items to plus 16, and it's extremely expensive because the chance is so low that you might spend not hundreds of thousands but millions of silver. But the rewards are really cool. There are shards, legendary leveling books, chickens, even equipment sets. And the main reward for completing all the missions is the top legendary champion Arbiter. She's the heroine of the Call of the Arbiter series and a cool support in the game. A guaranteed legendary and a bunch of rewards for leveling up my account right now. The main feature of the bonus I started with is that I'm already receiving leveling rewards with the newbie promo code 5step2GGT. There are defense sets, leveling resources, and a lot of silver. There are enough difficulties in the path of a newbie, but that's why I'm making a series of videos where you could see that playing Raid is easier than it seems. In my stage, the main problem is that there are no good items to equip. Now let's get to the most interesting part, proper farming. Where do you get really good items and how do you make it almost automatic? First, let's define the sets that have the highest priority for a newbie. And there are only two, Speed Set and Lifesteal Set. These two sets drop in one dungeon, Dragon's Lair. I go to farm the most passable difficulty. Level 20 is too easy and the rewards there are bad, so I take a few levels higher. Every day I have 30 multi-battle attempts. They reset. But you could get more with promo codes. By the way, you can find the latest promo codes in our regular promo code section. I just do all 30 battles. I turn off auto sell because I need all the artifacts. Auto sell of artifacts is needed in the middle of the game so that unnecessary items are sold immediately. After 30 battles, I just managed to get a meal and a bunch of artifacts appeared in my inventory, which I now equip to the lagging champions. The most important ones are the Speed Set and the Lifesteal Set. You can farm any mode this way. This is the easiest method. I could farm manually, but let's pretend I'm a lazy person who just wants to loot rewards and level up champions. If you, the viewer, are leveling up following my guide, I hope you will pay close attention to the Missions and Challenges tab. It's very important so that you don't have to go back to levels that you've already done and forgotten. A particular strain in my stage is that the tasks require repeating the first missions of the campaign and obtaining items with a certain parameter. Here, luck plays a role. Sometimes I completed similar things in 10 minutes, and sometimes it took hundreds of energy units. Multi-battle also helped me here. Often in the game there are events, super raids, also X2 and X3, for the drop of certain sets. At this time, the increased chance helps to get the missing parts of the equipment, and super raids cost twice the energy but give twice the rewards. Besides farming items, I also farm silver. I usually sell all unnecessary 1, 2, 3 starter equipment, except in cases where the item is 3-star legendary quality. This is how it is in the early stages. In the mid-game, you could sell anything under 5 stars, and of lower quality than rare. That's my tactic. I get silver for completing a mission, plus I sell items and get even more. The silver is just what I need to upgrade items to plus 16, and in general, every action I take in the game is accompanied by rewards in the form of silver. With silver all clear, the process of farming goes on every day in the hope that I will get really good equipment. But now I need rubies, and the question of how to get them has become very acute. Rubies are used for 2 purposes. 1. Leveling up champions' talents. 2. Upgrade the mine. The first source that comes to mind is the campaign. Besides the starting rewards for completing chapters, in the progress bar I have long been receiving rubies. By the way, I have already accumulated more than 360 from all activities. I still haven't bought the mine. I need to strain and save up 500 rubies. Each day, by completing a chain of daily tasks, I make a check in weekly quests. The reward for the daily quests is 10 rubies. The weekly reward is a sacred shard. In the monthly task, there are also shards, but also rubies in small amounts. and an extended by 5 rubies you can earn by doing arena tasks and by farming dungeons, tournaments. This is an expensive story. First of all, but it costs from 15 rubles just to score points and up to 75 rubles for prize places in the ranking. That's why it's expensive, and because it's difficult to keep the position in the ranking, and to keep it you need resources, which for me as a newbie is crucial. Events also become a nice addition to my balance, because for minimal resources you can loot from 10 to 50 rubies in any event where there is such a reward. In rewards for entry there are also rubies. For 270 days of entry, you can loot 1,550 rubies just by entering the game every day and picking up a bunch of other resources and shards. All of this is great, but the biggest source of rubies for me as a newbie is, guess what? Progress missions. Every couple of tasks for 10, 5, sometimes 100 rubies. And if the scale of completed tasks is below that, then I loot both 100 and 300 rubies at once. This was the 4th and 5th day of my leveling. I farmed, completed progress missions with challenges, and also participated in tournaments. So for you, just a few seconds passed on the timeline, and for me, a few days of leisurely play. I almost passed the first difficulty of the campaign, by the way. Now I have 500 rubies to buy the mine. And I want to share this solemn moment with you, viewers. Cut the ribbon and buy. Perfect. Why the mine? It's a free source of rubies for a newbie. No resources needed. Just enter the game and collect rubies. Cool. An important part of my stage is farming champions from the campaign. This process is similar to farming silver. Old-timers already know what I'm talking about. I'll explain to newbies. In every chapter of the campaign, there are blue champions that could drop with a small chance. I do this to save shards and get champions that will close my needs. The most useful are only 3 champions. A quick note about each. In Chapter 4 of the campaign, I need Spirit Host. Her block debuffs and an Imba A1 in the lifesteal set are a must. In Chapter 9 of the campaign, I farm War Maiden. Gives an attack buff for 2 rounds with a cooldown of 3 rounds. A1 applies a weak poison. A3 debuffs defense. In Chapter 12 of the campaign, I will be farming Diabolist, a good filler for a beginner. On A1 she has a sleep debuff, on A2 she gives allies a speed buff, and on A3 she fills up allies' turn meters. These are the main champions I am currently farming and they will be used in battle. So past my 6th day, the farming of needed champions can be said to have succeeded. I got all the champions. I got almost all the champions and even almost managed to dress them. Ahead is the most interesting, the 7th day. Day 7 begins with the legendary champion Adeline. On the 7th day, I added this leg to my collection. She's a must-have support. What's her charm? She removes debuffs from herself and also steals buffs on A1. A2 heals and restores reduced health. And A3 gives the opponent 3 debuffs: sleep, speed debuff, and attack debuff. Equipping this support requires accuracy, speed, and health and defense for survivability. Speed and perception sets suit her best, as does Relentless. I equipped her this way first, and my parameters are not the best. I use what I have. By the way, the next series will be the 4th and final one. You will learn everything you need to know about leveling up in the middle of the game and the rest of the knowledge base that doesn't fit into this video. It will be very interesting. Don't miss the videos. Subscribe and hit like. Now for the most important part of the video. Now I'm going to properly build a group to quickly farm the campaign and dungeons. The principle here is simple, and I already have the champions I need. Damagers/debuffers, Ultimate Gaelic, Kale, and Zargala. The tank will be Duck. Support, Adeline or War Priest. Speed filler, Diabolist. The idea is to put together the most effective group in terms of damage so that you could finish the activity in a minute. When I leveled up and set up all the champions, I managed to achieve approximately the needed results. Now my soul is calm, farming stable. If you, dear viewer, have not seen the previous series of the guide, here it is. There, I explained the principles of equipping champions, how to properly equip any champion according to the basic principles for a newbie. So, on the 7th day, I managed to complete so many progress missions. The progress is extremely good, and I am satisfied with the result as I got a lot of rewards. The challenges did not stop either. I spent a lot of time fulfilling conditions, which was sometimes just annoying, because sometimes it was necessary to return to previous stages. That was the most irritating. Here's my level, my currencies and energy. Here's the progress in the campaign. In the next series, I will show you how to get even more bonuses, epics, and mythic champions. There will be even more basics, lots of info, and I will not slow down the pace of leveling my account. Thanks to all of you who watched the video to the end. You are the best. Subscribe to the channel to not miss the next episode. I also collect and show promo codes in videos. There is a separate playlist with videos on the channel. Also, please like. Your positive reactions motivate me to create new videos. Here is the content I recommend to watch. See you!